What's up, everyone? You're listening to the Vegas Club, episode number 7, Imploding all of MGM's properties. Oh, shit! All right, everybody, on today's episode, we have decided to debut a new segment for the Vegas Club podcast. It's entitled the TVC Las Vegas Deathmatch, and in it, we will take any given Vegas subject that is much maligned, much argued about, and debate it down until there is only one winner, and an answer for all of you to hold with you until the end of time. We've also brought back gambling around the world, which this week takes Moss to Singapore. If you could do us a favour, pause this right now and leave a review on whatever you're listening to us on. That would be amazing. We love to hear your feedback, and it helps us make it better. All right, welcome back to episode number 7 of the Vegas Club. My name's Chris.
I'm Moss, hello.
And I'm Ben.
Excellent. And this week, we have got the very first inaugural episode of the Vegas Club Las Vegas Deathmatch. Every week we do this. We're going to decide what is the best something, and therefore all internet and social media debate about that subject can come to an end, and we can get on with just enjoying ourselves. So this week on the Las Vegas Deathmatch, best MGM property. Hit the music.
The TVC Las Vegas Deathmatch. Fight!
So this is quite a vast subject to talk about. I have created a bracket, which you guys have in front of you, which we're gonna complete today, I guess, by talking about these properties. The first problem was whether the likes of Signature and Nomad and Vdara and Delano actually were standalone properties. And I think for the sake of having a long conversation about this, they're going to be, although I'm not sure those rounds will last very long. So up in the first round, we have got Signature versus Mandalay Bay, MGM Grand versus Nomad, Luxor versus Excalibur, New York versus Mirage, Vdara versus Delano, Park MGM versus Bellagio. And because there aren't enough spaces in this, Aria and Circus, who at the time of recording are still in the MGM portfolio of properties, Aria and Circus get a bye to the quarterfinals. So Aria is going to play the winner of Signature versus Mandalay Bay. Oh, I wonder which one that's going to be. And Circus is going to play the winner of New York versus Mirage. Oh, couldn't tell you which one that's going to be.
Well, the only issue I can see with this is that you've missed out Delano. You've got Delano, but you haven't got Delano.
I heard from a very reputable source that it's named after, I think, an ex-president, and his middle name was Delano, and that is how you pronounce it.
Benji must know the answer to this.
That's what I'm going on.
It's definitely Delano, but I do know that the rooms were modelled. I watched this Rich D. Grant programme on hotels, and I'm sure they were modelled on some hotel from LA that was originally called the Delano. I may be wrong, but I'm sure I saw that.
All right, cool. Well, we'll get to that later. Let's start at the bottom, because I don't want to start this by talking about the fucking Signature at MGM Grand. Let's start with Bellagio versus Park MGM. I've always thought of, and in fact, back in the day, I thought of Monte Carlo of being kind of a smaller, cheaper, not quite as nice version of Bellagio, because Monte Carlo is Mediterranean, Bellagio is Mediterranean. I always felt that. Did you ever feel that, or is that just me?
No, I think that's just you.
Oh, okay. So we're going to talk about a couple of things, a couple of aspects from each place. We're going to talk about casino, what we like about the casino. We're going to talk about the pool. What we like about the pool. We're not going to talk about rooms, because not all three of us have stayed at every single hotel. And I think it would be ridiculous because, of course, no one is going to stay at every single hotel. I do enjoy that little...
well, no one except Matt Bridger.
Little alert. Oh, well, Matt Bridger stays at all the hotels. But
once a year.
Yeah, we're going to talk about restaurants and we're going to talk about entertainment. Those are the 4 things: casino, pool, restaurants, and entertainment. So for the daily visitor, somebody who's not necessarily going to stay there, that's what we're going to cover. So let's start with Bellagio. It's been open 20 years. Opened in October 1998. This is Steve Wynn's classic, isn't it? Let's talk about the casino. I really like the casino. It's quite opulent. It's pricey though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is pricey if you're playing table games, without a doubt. I do like it.
I was going to say the slots. I suppose the minimum bets are a bit higher, but you can still play at the same levels that you would play at any of the other casinos.
Yeah, that's true. I never take the slots into account. I'm always talking about the tables. The tables are pretty good first thing in the morning. I think general atmosphere, if you're talking about the casino at Bellagio versus the casino at the Park MGM, the casino at Bellagio wins every fucking time. Because the casino is light, the Park MGM is dark. The casino in Bellagio is vibrant, the Park MGM is dull.
What I would say about the two casinos for me is the one thing they do have in common is they're both quite transient, which is that I always feel like if you're in Park MGM, you're just on the way somewhere if you're not walking down the strip. And Bellagio, to an extent, because of how iconic it is and the way it's designed, you do seem to always have people walking through, which I know is the same in most of them. But, there is a little bit of that in both.
I will say I've had a really good cocktail in Park MGM at the Juniper Bar. It's a gin bar in there. However, they have now added the venue fee, so I instantly dislike it now already. But it was a nice bar when I went there, and like I say, there's a lot of theatre to the drinks. So I've never had a cocktail in Bellagio, so I can't judge it against that. But that was really good.
I didn't know you liked cocktails.
Well, I occasionally like a cocktail, yeah.
So do I. And I had a wonderful raspberry bramble at the Baccarat bar in Bellagio. That was a nice thing. There wasn't any theatre, though, and I do enjoy a bit of theatre, so maybe Park MGM wins that one. What about the pools? I thoroughly enjoyed Bellagio's pool. As I said on the last episode, just enough music and not so many douchebags.
I think, I've not stayed at either or used the pool at either, but I have seen the pool at the new Park MGM, and quite honestly, it's woeful. It's terrible. It just looks awful. It's just a couple of rectangles. There doesn't seem any sort of extravagance to it like you would expect or want because you're in Vegas at all. Whereas I've seen pictures of the Bellagio pool, and it looks from that pretty special.
Yeah, well, that sums up the refurb of Park MGM for me, doesn't it? Very square. It's just nothing. Yeah, it may as well be called Park Premier Inn.
It's very functionable, but there's no soul there, is there? No. They've also got the Bavette Steakhouse, probably the best steakhouse I've been to in Vegas, and it's really nice in there. The moment you come out of the door, you're just in any generic casino in the world. You could be anywhere really. It just hasn't got that theatre in the actual hotel.
Yeah, okay, so Bellagio's got the casino, Bellagio's got the pool. I don't know why they changed the pool at Park MGM. The one at Monte Carlo was cool. It had a wave pool, had a lazy river, had another sort of relaxation pool, nice little volleyball court on the side. Now it's just a big concrete lump with squares carved out of it full of water. Not a big fan of that. What about entertainment? That Park Theatre, Bellagio, all it has is O by Cirque du Soleil. That's not great.
I don't know if you can attach the Park Theatre. Well, I suppose it shares a name, but it is a. Mate. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It wins on that front. Then I suppose I'm trying to. I don't know. I think the Bellagio is just far superior, really.
Yeah. Park Theatre kicks the shit out of any entertainment going on at Bellagio, but there's no way Bellagio's not winning this, is there? No way in hell. So there we go. So as it happens, as Bellagio goes through to the next round, we have to implode Park. So there we go.
That's a shame. We've only just remodelled it.
Okay, round two to see who plays Bellagio in the second round. Two kind of, associate hotels. It's going to be difficult to call when we're talking about casinos because neither of these has a casino. So Vdara versus Delano.
I've stayed at the Delano.
Yeah?
And it just wins this one, I'm afraid. This is short and sweet in my eyes. You've got direct access from your room to the Skyfall Lounge, and you've got a private pool right next to the Mandalay Bay pool. Job done.
Excellent. And any input on Vdara?
It's got the death ray. They built that thing, and you can't sit out on the pool when it's sunny, which kind of sucks, really.
Is that because it's sunny quite a lot in Vegas in the desert?
Apparently.
No questions about the weather. This is why I'm asking, because obviously we banned weather questions on the group. So I'm not really sure what the weather's like in Vegas in general.
Well, if you sit outside at the pool by the Vdara, you'll soon know, apparently. The death ray that it's very famous for, because the sun glares off straight down to the pool.
Excellent. So Delano 1, Vdara 0. Casino is a 0-0 draw. Restaurants, Does Vdara have restaurants, or is it just do you just need to go to Aria to eat? And same with Delano. Does it have restaurants? It has at the top.
Yes, it has. I've eaten there. It's fantastic. It's a lovely French restaurant. It's got a great view over the airport, but you can also see straight down the strip. Like I say, you've got the Skyfall bar there, which is, I think it's the best view in Vegas, if I'm honest, the Skyfall bar. But the Vdara does have the vice versa lounge on the bottom floor, and it does some really nice cocktails again, and some sort of nibble bits. But I think that's all they really have.
Excellent. And then neither of them got any entertainment, so that's also 0-0. So I guess we have to implode Vdara.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, off you go. Good. Round 3, New York versus Mirage. Two iconic properties from the sort of late 80s to late 90s period of development. Mirage, one of Steve Wynn's, the very first mega resort on the Strip, apparently. I think it is, isn't it? Yeah, definitely. Built to be a single point of visitation for the tourist versus New York, sort of the beginning of the massive overdrive of theming that Vegas underwent in the early 90s to late 90s. I have stayed at New York. It was the first hotel I stayed in. I fucking love it for that reason. I think everyone holds something in their heart for the first place they stayed. Either of you stayed at Mirage?
No, I haven't. But we went on a trip 4 or 5 years ago with a couple who did stay there, and it was again we spent a bit of time in the casino in the area. It was okay. It was it was what it was. I think for me, it's starting to show its age a little bit.
I like I like both of these properties probably equally. This is really hard. Nicky Fromage, he stays at the Mirage, doesn't he? Nicky Fromage from the Mirage.
Nicky Fromage from the Mirage.
I think for that reason alone, we need to bin it off. Anyway.
And I quite like the casino, but New York, the atmosphere in that casino, I quite like Coyote Ugly, which is a crap bar, really crap, but I just quite like it. And I quite like the piano bar at the bottom as well.
I have some really, really great memories from staying in New York. I have some okay memories. I think I've won more money in Mirage than I have in New York after this last trip. But for me, the theme always wins. I'm an absolute sucker for Disneyland. I'm a sucker for all the theme hotels in Vegas. The theme always wins.
What I do like about New York as well, the casino. I do like the atmosphere of the casino.
Yes,
it always feels like a lot of fun. It's not huge, which actually helps, I think. And it's all in one place. There's no hidden bits round corners, or it's all one sort of not big room, but it's it feels like you're all part of the casino no matter where you are.
Yeah, as a craps player, the vibe of the craps tables in New York, right slap bang in the middle of the casino, is way superior to being cast off by the box office in Mirage. So I guess we've got casino-wise, we're happy with New York. Pool-wise, it's completely the other way, because New York's pool is fucking terrible. It's another big lump of concrete with a hole in the middle. Mirage has got a lovely bit of landscaping with all that fake rockery, waterfalls that you can swim behind and walk behind, much larger pool space. New York wins the casino, Mirage wins the pool. Should we ever think about entertainment? Because there is a shitload of entertainment going on at Mirage, and nothing apart from Zoomanity going on at New York. Unless you talk about dueling pianos at the Times Square bar, which is a lot of fun, but it's not quite what I was going for when I was talking about entertainment. If you're talking about Mirage, you've got Matt Goss, you've got Terry Fator, you've got loads of different comedians coming through.
You've got the Beatles, haven't you? Love there as well.
Love for the Beatles.
Yeah, Love there. I've seen absolutely.
That, yeah. You've got Scott Bradley's Postmodern Jukebox. That's going
to They're not resident there, though, are they? That's just where they were stopped for the night.
No, they're resident there.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they're there 2 or 3 times a week.
Oh my God, I'm definitely going. You've got me obsessed with them at the moment.
Oh, I love it so much. You know what? Despite the fact that Mirage beats New York for pool and Mirage beats New York for entertainment, we haven't talked about restaurants. I think restaurants is probably something we're going to ditch from this because it's too vast. Let's stick to pool, casino, and entertainment.
Yeah, I mean, what I would say is that 9-5 Irishman at New York we quite enjoyed. One of the things about we probably should comment on is location, because for me I do love the south end of the strip, just because there's a good combination of less expensive and premium bits and pieces. Anything sort of south of city centre, that whole little area there, I just find fantastic.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Moss, actually. I love that area down by New York. And the city centre. I just think it's brilliant. So I do think that New York is in a far greater location.
Okay, so here's how we do this, since this is a tight one. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, and we're going to say the hotel we want to win. 1, 2, 3. New York. Everybody wins. All right, we're good. New York through to face Circus in the next round. So far we've got Bellagio versus Delano and Mirage versus Circus. No, New York versus Circus in the next round. Let's go up to the top half of the draw. Let's do Signature versus Mandalay Bay. I think what we're going to do is we're going to assume that no one gives a shit about Signature because it's got nice rooms and that's about it, right? Nice rooms,
should we
nice
just put
service
Mandalay Bay through then?
For the expensive one. But let's talk about why Mandalay Bay beats Signature. Pool, the best pool on the strip, no?
Absolutely. I don't think anyone would complain with that.
Massive beach, huge wave pool, a little bit of European toplessness around the corner if you want it. Cannot go wrong with that. Casino, it's actually got one versus Signature's lack of casino.
So you see now, having stayed at Trump, and I know, part of me, yeah, exactly. Part of me has an element of shame about that. But not having a casino is not a bad thing if you've lost, because it is quite nice to not have that last temptation of just stick another 100 on black or whatever it might be, and just to go back to your room and think there is nowhere here I can lose my money except the minibar.
Makes the Starbucks runs boring, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm not keen on that at all. Why the hell are you even there? Okay, what else are we talking about? So the casino, Mandalay Bay wins. The pool, Mandalay Bay wins. The entertainment, they've got one. They've got one, and it is one, Michael Jackson. Another Cirque du Soleil thing. I have friends who have seen this. They said it was fantastic. Matt Bridges seen it, said it was fantastic. He has, hasn't he?
Oh, I think he has.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. If he didn't, no one will know. And there's no entertainment at Signature. No entertainment at Signature. So I think we're kind of pushing Mandalay Bay through. That means we have to. Oh no, that means we've got to implode Signature. There it goes. All right, next one. MGM Grand, a little bit covered in the dust of its fallen sister now. MGM Grand versus Nomad. Again, another one of these kind of add-on hotels. Nomad's at the top of Park MGM. We've already imploded Park MGM, so Nomad actually doesn't exist anymore. So let's talk about why MGM Grand gets the buy in this one.
Well, we Matt Bridgham may well support Nomad, but at MGM I stayed there this last September when I was there. It's just iconic, isn't it? To be fair, I had a West King. It was all right. With a strip view. It was what it was, which was a massively, ridiculously big hotel that on fight weekend was mentally busy. The atmosphere was incredible in there when the Mexican guy was fighting, and it was just full of Mexican fans, and just everything about it was brilliant. And so the time I was there helped. But it's just iconic, isn't it? It was for a long time, wasn't the biggest hotel in the world. It
was the first hotel I ever stayed at, so it'll always hold sort of that special moment for me. We had a spa suite. It was fantastic. Really enjoyed it. And, yeah, I mean, I'll never forget it for that reason. Really, that's it.
I really fucking love the MGM Grand pool. Massive complex, huge lazy river.
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
Good music, a nice party vibe if you're into that mood, compared to the Bellagio, which is a really nice pool that hasn't got such a party vibe. And it's not quite as disgusting as the likes of Wet Republic and Sapphire, the most infamous pool party in Vegas.
Boo.
So I guess we're not saving at the moment. Nomad's just sort of hanging there in midair. Park's disappeared from beneath it. We're just going to let it go. The final first round matchup, the two kings of the theming, Luxor versus Excalibur. I love both of these places.
I love the Luxor. I'm staying there again for the second time this year, actually.
Do you stay at the Luxor because you really love it, or do you stay at the Luxor because that's where you get your best offers?
Well, no, I get pretty similar offers everywhere, to be honest, Chris. But I really enjoyed the Luxor when I went earlier this year, and I'm going with my uncle who doesn't get offers, and he gave me sort of an MO of what he wanted, and I don't think he'd feel comfortable at somewhere like the Aria. So I just thought the Luxor was perfect, and the positioning of it. I think the whole thing about the Luxor is just fantastic.
Okay. I've stayed at Luxor too, and it was fine. Absolutely fine. There's a nice novelty with the lifts that go diagonally. The casino's really nice. Shitloads of entertainment. But anyway, let's talk about the two together, because Luxor and Excalibur are right next to each other. They're both themed through the eyeballs, although perhaps some of them not so much anymore. Entertainment at Luxor is rife. And I think there's only a couple of things going on at Excalibur. Thunder from Down Under.
Australian Bee Gees.
Yeah, and the Tournament of Kings.
Do you know what? Australian Bee Gees, tacky as it might sound, brilliant. I've been there, brilliant.
This is basically going to be the battle of the strip shows. At Excalibur, you've got Thunder from Down Under, and at Luxor, you've got Fantasy.
Yeah, well, I've seen Fantasy.
I have.
Christy and I really fucking enjoyed it. It was great.
I thought it was brilliant. I wasn't expecting it to be what it was.
No, very funny.
It's got great comedy. It's got good singing. It's got great acts. I just thought it was brilliant.
Yeah, it was decent. It was very decent. So you got those three shows at Excalibur, and we already talked about Fantasy at Luxor. They've also got Blue Man Group. They've also got Carrot Top. And if you want to talk about entertainment as well, they've got the Bodies exhibit, and they've got the Titanic Museum, which is a lot of stuff to do. You don't have to leave that hotel very often. So I'd say Luxor definitely on the entertainment front. What about the pools? Because Luxor's got one big fat square pool.
I haven't seen the pool there, actually, because I went in January. It wasn't anywhere I ventured.
Yeah, same for us the year before.
I
were
can't
January.
comment on the pools at either of them, to be honest.
No, well, the pool at Excalibur is very much like a big sort of concrete hole again. It's quite large, but there's a mushroom-shaped pool, and there's a wiggly pool with some palm trees around it. It's not special. It's not special. Cool. Okay, so they're all draws. I think the old Luxor wins it on the entertainment. They draw on the pools. What about the casinos?
Yeah, for me, I think the atmosphere at Excalibur, I think I talked about this on the last episode, it's just fantastic because it's that little bit more low rolling, and the actual layout of the casino is pretty good. I just think that, the casino there edges it. If not edges it, it's probably relatively comfortable over Luxor, because I'm not a massive fan of the casino at Luxor, to be honest. It's for a little bit soulless for me.
See, I disagree with you. I do like the Excalibur Casino, and I think I've had some good craps games there. But slot-wise, the Luxor beats Excalibur, in my opinion, hands down. And that's just because of the way the casino is set out for slots, and the feeling of playing slots in the Luxor. So I do think it very much depends what you're playing, whereas I agree table games at Excalibur, that's far better than the Luxor.
This is a tight one.
It's really tight. This is the toughest, I think.
Ben, what are you going with?
Luxor.
Moss, what are you going with?
Having stayed at both, I think I'd have to just go for Luxor.
Oh, it's through. It's through. I don't have to make a decision then. Wonderful. All we've got to do now is destroy the castle. So the castle's getting imploded. What a shame. I thought he was going to sneak through there. I really thought he was going to sneak through.
No, I just, the thing at Luxor for me is the one thing that really tips over the edge for me that I didn't mention is the fact that every time a lift in the pyramid goes up, it goes up at an angle, and there is nothing funnier than my wife's reaction every time it goes in the direction she's not expecting. Because we could go in that lift every day of our lives and she'd still go, oh, what's happened? Jodie, it goes up at an angle. Come on.
Okay, so we've got quarterfinals set. We've got Bellagio versus Delano. We've got New York versus Circus Circus. We've got Luxor versus MGM Grand, and we've got Mandalay Bay versus Aria. Let's start with that. Mandalay Bay versus Aria. We talked a little bit about how Mandalay Bay's casino is a little bit. I was thinking about Mirage. Anyway, Mandalay Bay versus Aria. Who stayed at Aria? Because I have not.
Me. I liked Aria so much, I named my daughter after it. So
Oh, I don't know if we can. I don't know if we can.
try imploding it now.
I know. I can't. I gotta get all the boys to take the dynamite out. Fuck. Okay, so Aria's for me. Aria is as a casino. It's a bit barren. It's a bit faceless.
Again, this comes from a table player game, I suppose, point of view. Although you know the craps tables are well positioned in there; they're right in the middle of the casino, which is your game. But the slots I quite like. I like I tell you what I do like down there is they've got a few bars dotted around in the casino, and actually they're all slightly different, and they're all really good. So you can go out one night and they've got sort of a bar in the middle. I can't remember what it's called. Alibi Bar. That's what it's called. It's got a lot of sort of modern music in, very beaty. Then the other side, you've got the lounge bar, and you've got a chap who does live music, acoustic live music, and he's fantastic, absolutely brilliant. So you've got entertainment in the casino there, and I really like that because you can have a gamble and then go and sit down and have a drink and listen to some music.
What's the pool like there, mate?
Pool's fantastic. I like it. They've got sort of 3 overly shaped pools, and then they've got the Sky Suite pool. It's got a couple of massive jacuzzis, which is quite nice because it's open year round as well, the pool there. So if you go when it's a bit cooler, you can just go and chill out in the jacuzzi for a bit, which is nice. And it's got Julian Serrano's, in my eyes,
your
best
favourite restaurant,
restaurant in Las Vegas.
Excellent. It's not got much by way of entertainment. I mean, I know we're up against Mandalay Bay, and all they've got there is one Michael Jackson Cirque du Soleil show. But all that Aria has is the Aria art collection. And that for me is not something I'm going to Vegas for. No, I would agree with that. But they've got that nightclub. Is it Jewel? I'm too old for nightclubs, but it's got a nightclub. I think this is a tough one as well because I think you're attached to this in a way that we can't be attached to hotels, Moss and I. I think I've just got such good memories there, and that's why. And we've all got those places where you go somewhere and it was so good that you'll just fall in love with that place no matter what. It could be a burning wreck, but if you've had such a good time there, you'll claim it's a palace, won't you?
Interesting. You're right, but then it's also got your favourite bar in Vegas at Mandalay Bay. So this is a real tough one, isn't it?
Well, yeah, that's at the Delano though, not Mandalay Bay. If you implode the Mandalay Bay, the Delano still stands, and I'd argue that MJ1's in the Delano.
Have we not imploded Delano?
No, Delano's still there.
Oh.
Delano's up against Bellagio in a little while. So I think maybe we just let Ben make this decision, Moss, and we'll just let him have it. Ben, you're up, mate. You choose. Well, who are we imploding? We're imploding Mandalay Bay with the incredible views of the Strip, the amazing restaurants, the best pool in Vegas, and the OK casino. We didn't talk about the Shark Tank. That's the 3rd largest aquatic pool.
Blue Reef Aquarium, love it.
In the US, the 3rd largest. I think the largest is in Atlanta, and no one cares for second place, so I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I've done it. It was all right. It's very short and brief, though. I know it's. I appreciate it's large. I queued up for an hour to get into this place, so I thought this is going to be fantastic. 20 minutes, it's done, and you think, well, I queued longer than I was in here.
That's how it works at a lot of places.
I know.
Okay, so look, you got this. You can take whichever one through you like.
On the basis that the Mandalay Bay pool still survives with the Delano, we're going to get rid of the Mandalay Bay.
Oh! Boom. All right, we'll implode that bad boy. Okay, so Aria is through to the semi-finals to play the winner of the MGM Grand versus the Luxor. Can you tell in my voice that we're getting excited here? It's getting a little bit more sort of boxing-y now.
Just about.
Amazing. So, there we have it. MGM Grand versus Luxor. 2 highly iconic hotels. We've already talked about the casino is being vast in MGM Grand and pretty wide open and spacious in Luxor. Entertainment-wise, what else is there apart from car and boxing stroke concerts in the MGM Grand Garden. Is there anything else going on MGM Grand?
They have the I suppose. Oh no, I was going to say Top Golf. It is there, isn't it? There or thereabouts. You have to walk through there to get to Top Golf. You could probably argue that's entertainment. That's a quite a popular thing at the moment in Vegas. That is.
Haven't they just had Iron Maiden there as well?
Do they?
Wow.
I'm sure. Last Friday, yeah. That's pretty big.
Iron Maiden versus fantasy. That's what it's come down to.
Well,
do you want to see Nico McBrain and all of his tom-toms, or do you want to see some ex-Dallas Cowboys cheerleader get her tom-toms out? Which is it?
I think if I really had to make a choice between the two of them, which clearly I've got to, because that's the whole point, I would have to probably go with Luxor.
Yeah, I agree. I've never really been in MGM Grand apart from the pool. Never gambled there. Always seems far too vast.
But I'll tell you, the one thing we didn't talk about in the original last about MGM Grand is just the casino. I just think the casino just doesn't. It doesn't seem to have any sort of meaning to it. It just sort of it's all random,
it goes on,
all over the
it?
place, and it's no, it just doesn't make any sense. It's not a big fan. As much as it is vast, it just it doesn't really. It's not somewhere you choose to go back to. I don't think it's not great for me.
I've never ever had good drink service at the MGM either.
No, because the size. That's why.
Yeah, you're probably completely right. But yeah, it's just too big. I do agree with you there. I remember one day just walking around trying to get out and I just couldn't work it out. I was so tired I nearly just sat down where I was.
It is fucking massive. And for that reason, half our Dynamite budget has gone on imploding this bad boy. Okay, on to the next one. Still an MGM property for now. We are talking about Circus Circus versus New York. Do you think anyone will care if Circus Circus gets sold to somebody else?
As long as it doesn't get imploded, I actually quite like the casino there. I like the charm of the of those sort of places. I mean, I'd never stay there, but I do like the casino there. But I'm sure they'll give it a refit, whoever takes it over.
Yeah, I mean, we've been in there as a visitors, and I mean, admittedly, as the sort of north end of the strip starts to liven up a bit, perhaps it might get somewhere with it, but it's a bit of fun. I love how you have to make sure your laces are tied up so you don't lose your shoes, and that theme park they've got out the back. We've been round there, and just for a bit of something different for a while, and so I do like it, but again, if we did implode it, I'm not sure anyone would really notice, to be honest. Apart from Matt Bridger, he may never speak to us again.
The new owners might think we've done him a favour, to be honest. It saves them having to do it themselves to rebuild it.
They're better off just buying the Lucky Dragon that already exists, isn't it?
Well, you know why that went bust, don't you?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, because Matt Bridger went in there, tried to film, they kicked him out. Next thing you know, bust.
That's a true story.
That is a true story. It's the influence of Matt Bridger. That's what it is.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That's why we had to get him back on next time.
Oh, he's coming, is he?
Yeah, he's going to be on the next episode. We're going to talk about his trip.
I'd heard that it was just too expensive for us these days.
Yeah, I have had a lovely promotion and found money in the garden and sold a few things and making it happen. So there you go.
Fantastic.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so Circus Circus. You know what's really good for Circus Circus is they still have, or maybe they don't. I don't know if they do, but when I first went there, they still had the silver dollar chips, the really old school gold silver coins as dollar chips, and I love that. If I ever find them anywhere, I'm really, really excited about that. But I don't think that's going to be enough to get it past New York, to be honest.
No, I mean, it's not. It's just ridiculous as a competition, really.
Okay, well, I mean, it's the generator knows. The generator seeded it at number 2. New York's only been seeded at number 7. Massive upset. New York through to the semi-finals. Sorry, lucky mate, you're going down. Finally, Bellagio versus Delano. I don't think we even need to talk about this.
No, the Bellagio's got to go through there, hasn't it?
Of course it has. Goodbye, Delano. Okay. Right, semi-finals. Semi-finals. We're racking through this now, as is customary. We don't need to talk about everything in massive depth. We have Aria and we have Luxor. Aria versus Luxor. Ben, this must be tearing you apart.
It is. It is. I can't believe it.
It's the Ben Heath derby. Shit.
Oh, man. I'd still choose the Aria on balance.
Choose the Aria. Okay. Moss, somebody who hasn't named his kid after a hotel. Do you prefer... What do you mean? I mean, little Hilton. She's definitely named after a hotel. Me and Jodie named our daughter Hilton after the Hilton just round the corner from us in Portsmouth.
Travelodge was taken, was it, Matt?
Anyway, so what were we talking about? Aria versus Luxor. Ben, can you really pick one of these two, or is this going to be too hard?
No, I would still go the Aria.
So you still can't make a decision. Oh, mate, I feel tough. You just can't. Okay, Moss, we're going to have to decide for him. So after three, we've got to pick which one we prefer out of Luxor and Aria. 1, 2, 3. Luxor. Oh, Ben, mate.
Cheers, guys. Know who your friends are.
Yeah.
I'll have to cancel my room I've got booked there in January now.
You got a room booked where in January? Aria?
Yeah, did have. You've imploded it.
Not anymore. Well, it's not been imploded. Oh, there it goes. Okay, cool. So Luxor has made the final. Would you believe it? And to join it in the final, New York versus Bellagio.
Yeah, I mean, again, unfortunately, I think this is starting to speak for itself now, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? It is. So I guess Bellagio's getting a bye because New York hasn't got a clue how to stand up to Bellagio's opulent beauty. Is it the fountain? Is it the fountain that's going to win this after everything?
It is.
Yes. Yeah, without a doubt, it is. I mean, it's about. You imagine what? Do you imagine the reaction of that? I mean, that thing costs them a fortune. If they ever went, you know what? It costs us too much money, so we're going to build something on it. Can you imagine the outcry?
They're getting so much from parking fees, they turn it into a car park.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was a bit concerned after James Corden did that thing on it recently with Celine Dion that that might devalue it a bit. But
okay, so that's it then. So we've got to implode New York. That's a sad time. I love that place. That leads us to the grand final. Can we get a drum roll? Maybe I'll record a actual drum roll for that instead of just me hitting the table. It's come down to this. 14-2. Luxor versus Bellagio. I've happily stayed at both and enjoyed both. It's Bellagio, isn't it?
Of course it is.
Of course it's Bellagio. We could have foregone the entirety of the last 30 minutes of chat and just stated at the beginning that it's Bellagio. So goodbye, Luxor. Ladies and gentlemen.
It might not have been if you didn't implode the Aria, but,
Aria hasn't got a massive fountain. It's got a tiny little fountain.
Okay. I'm very sad.
Would, in all seriousness, would Aria have been your top MGM hotel?
No, the Bellagio would be. How can it not be? If you're comparing them all, then, the fountain wins.
Yeah, so there you go. The best property in the MGM portfolio of properties in Las Vegas is the Bellagio Fountains. There it is. So there you go. TVC decides. Done. That's the end of the first death match. I'm sure we'll get better at discussing these things as they go. If you want to have us discuss a topic of your choice and decide for you what is the best something in Vegas, then let us know on our Facebook group. We'll put a topic up there so you can ask us. Cool, so that's the end of the first death match. We'll come back with more of these.
The TVC Las Vegas Deathmatch! Fight!
And now it's time for this.
Met in London in July, a podcast named The Vegas Club. We're now jetting off in the sky, gambling round the world.
We brought Gambling Around the World back, boys. I changed the theme music. Did you notice?
I did notice. Very good. Like it.
Yeah.
A lot of time on your hands there, Chris.
I do have a lot of time on my hands. I do. This week on Gambling Around the World, we are going to talk about Moss's trip to Singapore.
Yes, Singapore. Beautiful. What do you want to know?
Everything. Crack on.
We did a trip. This was October last year, so 2018, if you're listening to this in 10 years' time when we're all multimillionaires. Just like you can bet on that, obviously. They've made a fortune out of this podcast and then just hide it very well.
It might be 10 years by the time Chris has edited it and put it up. You never know.
Well, yeah, there you go. We went to Singapore. We stayed with some friends who lived right in Marina Bay, and went to Marina Bay Sands, part of the same group that owned Venetian and similar hotels in Vegas.
Very nice.
And it was immense. What I will do is, once this episode goes live, I'll put a few pictures and a couple of videos I took up on Facebook of this place. Even by Vegas sort of standards, it was huge. It was inside the shopping centre. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the Marina Bay Sands is this hotel that's like it's a shopping complex as well, and it's the place that's got the two towers and the garden in the sky that links the two, and it's quite an iconic building. I'll stick some pictures up, as I say, of it, and it was mental. And when we went there, it was $50, I think, to get in if you were a Singapore resident, or if you could prove you weren't, like we could. It was free, and in we go, and it was packed. I think it was a Friday night. I think we went. It was absolutely packed. Lots and lots of slot machines, and I'll send put the pictures on the Facebook group. The table games were madness. It was just baccarat everywhere, absolutely everywhere. A few bits of blackjack. There was a craps table there. I didn't go because I think the minimum was. Well, I've got a feeling the minimum was $50, which is, I think, was about 25 UK pounds, and we were only there for a short trip. Wasn't doing it, but I did come across the unique Singaporean way of playing slot machines, which was just to bang the button repeatedly, regardless of what was going on the screen. Just literally bang, 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 constantly. It was ridiculous. I'm sure. Hopefully, I'll have a video of someone doing it. They literally just stood. They didn't. You see it in Vegas when you hit a button twice in a row and it instantly changes the screen. It was like that, but they just did it constantly. They didn't wait for it or anything, just constant. So there was that. There was also robot drinks dispensers. So these robot drinks dispensers just crawled around the casino, and if you wanted a soft drink, you'd get them out of that.
Oh, nice.
That was quite cool. Yeah. And the soft drinks, they had soft drink stations. You just went and helped yourself. You didn't have to wait for a cocktail waitress. But I suppose it was unlike Vegas, where people are just walking through. It was much more controlled. So only people who were in the casino, if you see what I mean. You couldn't walk through the casino to get anywhere. So that was a bit different. The other thing as well is I'm very surprised Matt Bridger hasn't been there, because it is wall-to-wall lightning links. Every variation, I'll put a couple of these pictures up as well. Every variation of lightning link you can think of was there. So it was really good. Minimums were very high on some of the games. I mean, there's 2 or 3 casinos in Singapore. Minimums were quite high. We stuck to slots. We had a great time, but it was just unique. It was like it was a very, very busy, very high tempo version, even compared to Vegas. It really was.
Do they take it really seriously? Because I hear a lot about in Macau, they take the gaming very, very seriously. Is it similar in Singapore?
Yeah, it was similar in so much as there wasn't a lot of shouting or celebrating or anything like that. But literally, I've got a couple of photos of like the stadium gaming and things, and it's just everyone's just head down, concentrating on what they're doing. There's no one even on slot machines. It looked like everyone was there on their own. There doesn't seem to be anyone there together. Everyone was just there and focused on what they were doing. So yeah, it was very much like that. The atmosphere was good because it was so busy. And I'll send you a couple of the photos where you just get an idea of the scale of this place. But it was just incredible, really.
That doesn't sound too much fun, though. If everyone's taking it so seriously, one of the things I love about Vegas is that it's a lot more lively and everyone's having more fun. No,
and I think you're right. I don't think I would describe it as a fun place. It almost felt like not a chore. That's not quite the right word, but it almost felt like more akin to being at work than it did in the casino. We had a night. Jodie and I had a nice time. We were on holiday. We were relaxed, and we were whatever. Everyone was just so serious. It was a bit like, well, okay, it wasn't really for us, to be honest. But it was a unique experience gambling in such an iconic casino.
Would you go back?
Probably not. If we were next time we're in Singapore, if we go again, no, I've done it. That's it. Wouldn't go.
All right, so there you have it. on the return of gambling around the world. Singapore, very serious, very vast, very hitty on the buttons gambling. Next time, we'll be talking about somewhere else around the world, and we're always up for the listeners calling in. So if you want to give us a call, send us a message on Facebook, and we will get you on the show to talk about your gambling experiences around the world while you're not in Vegas. That's that for that, and here's some more theme songs.
Making bets and winning money and gambling round the world.
That is us coming to the end of episode number 7. Been a pleasure to talk to you boys. We have got upcoming on the 16th of November, TVC on tour in Leeds. This is the second event we put on. The first one we put on was in February in London. It was fantastic. This one's going to be even better. I think even better from a clientele perspective because we've got more and more people coming. Maybe not even better from a gaming perspective because there's no craps tables in Leeds. I'm sure we'll be okay though. If you want to get involved in that, join the Facebook group. Hook yourself up with Matt Moss. He will let you know if we've got space left. Do we have space left, Moss?
We have space left. Very limited. Hurry up, get in touch.
So there's about 80 or 90 people coming at the moment, which
we're
is
at
fantastic.
94, I think we're
94,
at now.
94, shit. Let's hit that 100 and make it a night to remember. That would be decent. We are selling T-shirts, as you may have seen. Plenty of them being bought up by all the people in the group. Love seeing the photos on the group of the shirts being worn in Vegas and elsewhere. I've seen one, somebody skydiving in Vegas with the T-shirt on, which I fucking loved it.
That's
Absolutely
pretty cool.
Yeah, I for the life of me cannot remember who it was. I'm so sorry. Our social media, if you want to come join us on Facebook, it's just type in the Vegas Club podcast in the group section. We'll pop up. Don't join the page. There's a difference between page and group. The group is where the chat is. The page is where there is nothing. So leave that alone. If you want to get you on social media, Ben, where can we find you?
YouTube, Ben Heath, and on Twitter at Benji Heath.
Moss?
And you've got a trip coming up, Ben, haven't you?
Ooh,
Yeah, 2 weeks today I will be landing, and now as we speak. So that's September 30th, 9 nights. I'll be vlogging a lot of it. So the first one should come out over here late on the 1st of October.
Wonderful. And we'll get you back on the show to talk about that trip in a month or so, I reckon. We're carving out trip reports left, right and centre at the moment, boys. Moss, what's your Facebook? No, what's your social media stuff?
Twitter, Mosside3554, and as I say every week, that is only if you haven't blocked me.
I was going to say, can anyone even find you nowadays? Everyone's blocked you, haven't they?
Everyone's blocked. He's just constantly on blast.
No, hang on, not everyone. It's everyone who's everyone has blocked me.
Ah, yes.
One person.
Yeah. Yes. All right, well, you can get me at The Vegas Club on Twitter, at The Vegas Club Podcast on Instagram. We have a thread on the Facebook page for the Vegas Deathmatch if you want to suggest a topic for us to decide for you so you don't need to think about it for yourself anymore. That's it for this week. So, boys, I'll see you soon.
See you later, Chris.
See you later.
All right, see you later, everyone. Cheers! Hello, valued listener. If you're still here now, then hopefully that means you have enjoyed this podcast and you've not just let it run over while you're falling asleep. We would really, really, really enjoy it if you could leave us a review on iTunes or indeed wherever else you listen to this shit on. If you love it or if you hate it, because that's funny as well. Please do, though. 5 stars, 1 star, whatever.